Hanukkah, the 25th day of the Hebrew month of Kislev, one of the greatest, most joyous holidays of the Jewish calendar. Around 139 BCE, when the entire Israel was occupied, how ironic, by the Seleucidian Greeks, the Seleucidian Greeks wanted to impose their material, lustful, idolatrous ways on the Jewish people. Now, the Jewish people are totally loyal to Hashem, to God, to the one creator. And they refused. And Antiochus, who was the ruler and the king, really did his best to try and persuade the Jewish people of the time to join his idolatrous ways. In fact, he considered himself an idol or godly, as many kings and monarchs did in those days. But a small group of Jewish warriors called the Maccabees from a certain Jewish priestly family decided to form an army. I know, this is pretty ironic, and fight the occupiers, because they would not subject themselves to the idolatrous ways. Now, Antiochus knew that the Jewish people held such strong ties with God and went into the temple and completely defiled it. Completely. And there's many rituals that Jewish people need to do in the temple that cannot be defiled by Gentiles, and they have to be even certain Jews and certain spiritual statuses can't go there or do that or touch it or certain things. It's so important for the Jewish people to have a temple, to have a place where they can have altars and spices and honor God in the way that God says to honor it. But they were unable to. One of the things is in the temple were lighting the menorah, lighting the Hanukkah. And then it was 7 candles, and the priest would usually do that daily, and it would be beautiful. Very symbolic. The Talmud talks about what the menorah, the Hanukkah, the menorah actually represents. But they defiled, Antiochus and his people defiled the oil, and they could not use the oil. The Talmud talks about why we celebrate Hanukkah. Hanukkah, there's 2 aspects to it. Was it the miraculous victory that a small army against the Seleucidian Greeks and chased them away and won the war and was able to regain control over Israel and rededicate the holiness of the Holy Temple? Or was it that miraculously the oil that they found, the one last jar of oil, only good for 1 night, was able to last for 8 days, miraculously the exact amount of time that it required to get new oil to light the Hanukkah, the menorah. They call it Hanukkah only after this holiday. So there's really 2 aspects to it. The miraculous war of the small over the many, the good over evil, holy over impurity, or the long-lasting lights of the Hanukkah, of the menorah. I keep on saying that. Anyhow, we can discuss that further, but Hanukkah is a celebration of light, of joy, of holiness, of winning small to big. Winning, the minority wins over the majority. Meaning, even though everything is against the holiness, the godliness, everything, all the tests of the time want you to not have a godly life, not have a meaningful, purposeful life, but rather a life full of just material, lustful, me type of life. Hanukkah comes and shows that there is the power within you to overcome all of that. Any obstacle in your life that stops you from doing what you need to do can be overcome, even if it seems unsurmountable. Happy Hanukkah.